So good day to every one of you. And for this day, I will be discussing to you about argumentatives. So as you can see, argumentatives has the root word argue, which is simply self-explanatory, and we know that when you violently disapprove about something and then you fight, something like that. And what argumentative means is that it means tending to argue, showing a tendency to disgrace, or showing about divergent or opposite views. And these are the three meanings of argumentative. And as you can be derived here about divergent opposite views, meaning this has to do with the opinions or the views of a person about a certain topic that is being talked about. So, argumentative came from the Latin word argumentary, meaning to prove or to conclude. Now, there are three types or ways on expressing an argumentative. So the first way is through a question, or also called as an argumentative question to be formal. So an argumentative question is an evidentiary objection. You may be wondering, what is an evidentiary objection? So, an evidentiary objection is done so that I'm just gonna post it above. So, an evidence can be presented, or self-explanatory. And this type of argumentative questions are mostly used during interrogations, like a detective or some court hearings, interrogation or about court hearings. These are mostly used because this allows the judge to question a witness about a certain question that is called an argumentative question, because so that the witness can inference facts from the case, or can infer something based on the facts that he or she has given on the case. And sometimes when a judge goes a little bit too much, they sometimes call this as badgering a witness. So, about a witness and inferencing about inferences about the facts of the case. So that is an argumentative question. Now let's go to the second type, the argumentative essay. So we all knew that an argumentative essay, because we have been tasked or assigned to do an argumentative essay when we were in our lower grades. So an argumentative essay is at the same time an argument which also informs. So in order for an essay to be an argumentative essay, it should have pros and cons. And as we know that pros and cons are the basic elements for an argument or a debate, because it is the two groups that the pros and cons, like for example, is about a mother knows best and mother does not know best. The pros are the mother knows best, and the cons are the mother does not know best. So its main goal is to persuade. Its main goal is to persuade because it aims to persuade the reader to change his or her beliefs about a certain topic that is being talked about in the essay. So, in order to have a very powerful topic or a very effective argumentative essay that helps you persuade much more audience, here are some tips on picking about your topic. So, first of all, your topic should be narrowed down. In short, it should be specific. I mean, like, you say, like, marijuana should be illegal. Like, that is a bit too general, and you should specific it. Like, selling and taking of marijuana should be illegal, which is much more specific. Second, it should contain an argument. Of course, it should contain an argument, because how would you call it an argumentative essay if it does not even contain an argument? Now, you may be saying, like, what do you mean by this? For example, you say, should we buy a bicycle or a car? That's not really an argument. It's much more like, as I said, in the narrowed down, it should be specific. For example, if we are above 30, what do you think is the best transportation that we use? Should we use a bike or a car? That is a much more effective argument. And last, it should be adequately supportive. Meaning, there should be facts that you can find on the internet or research about it, because how will you know, like, you can't just put an argument without any facts about it, because you need to prove about your opinion about it. So, yeah. Now, on a very important part of an argumentative essay is a thesis statement. It is important because a thesis statement states something like a brief summary, like a phrase, or a sentence that explains what you are going to talk about, and it is mostly found in your introduction or at the beginning of your paragraph. So now, let us go now to the last type of how to express an argumentative speech. Now, actually, an argumentative speech and an argumentative essay are the same, except instead of writing it, you say it, like you turn it into a speech. So yeah, its aim is to discuss or prove, or is also not persuasive speech, because as said in the argumentative essay, it is a persuasive essay. So the speech should be persuasive, because your main goal again in here is the same as the argumentative essay, because this speech attempts to persuade his audience to alter their viewpoints about the controversial issue that is being talked about. See? Now, so you'll now be saying, what is the importance of argumentative? Why do we learn about this? And why do we know about this? And why is this important? Well, argumentative is actually important because it improves research skills. And what do I mean by that? It improves research skills because when you do an essay or a speech, of course you have to research about the topic, and you have to briefly search everything that you can have to prove your opinion or your argument. Also, here it's logic and methodic. It's logic and methodic because it helps you to think logically about the things, not just being, just being guessing about things, but the facts that you have presented should be true. Now, it also improves your writing skills. And what do I mean by that? It's very self-explanatory, because if you write argumentative essays, it can really help you in writing much more about, essays. It helps you to write, because in college there will be some thesis research projects that you need to know, and with learning this, it will improve your writing skills. And lastly, anticipating objections. This actually means that you can outline very well. As we all know that outlining your essay is very, much needed on writing it. So with anticipating objections, meaning you write there what might your reader might ask, or what might they ask in your essay, which is like they can find answers to their questions. And a very self-explanatory importance is that controversial issues can be answered or have something to know about the issue. For an example, there is a controversial issue about making marijuana and selling it and using it. Is it to be illegal or legal? So, with the use of argumentative, you can know about things about the argument so that you can pick a side on which is better to choose or not. Now, since I presented to you about the importance, a lasting importance is that it is very useful in courts so that you can know if a witness is really telling the truth or not. And for this day, this is now the report about argumentative. And for the activity, there will be posted here after a count of 3, and you can freely pause the video so that you can answer it. Okay, so I hope you learned something about this. And thanks for listening and watching me and cringing too hard. Thank you.